The video opens with a cold, sharp shock, a striking statement about how the cost of lobola in today's world can match the price of a small car. Yet despite public pressure, economic hardship, and growing debate, King Misuzulu refuses to lower it. This immediately confronts the viewer with tension between tradition and modern reality. The tease follows quickly, laying out a clear promise. The audience will discover exactly why the king stands so firmly on this position, the cultural layers behind his refusal, the political and social weight attached to lobola, and the unexpected ripple effects his stance is already creating across families, communities, and the Zulu nation. A hint is dropped that one revelation, hidden in the history of lobola, may surprise even those who think they understand the tradition. The engagement spark arrives by challenging the viewer directly. They are asked whether reducing lobola would lead to more marriages, or whether such a change would hollow out the cultural meaning entirely. The prompt encourages them to answer boldly, inviting emotional and cultural introspection. The main body of the video unfolds through a series of interconnected explorations. It begins with a provocative reflection on whether love and cultural expectations can coexist without financial strain, and how this dilemma sits at the heart of the king's refusal. From there, the narrative uncovers the older idea that lobola was never about wealth, but about demonstrating respect, something King Misuzulu believes is slowly being forgotten. The viewer is then transported into a vivid scenario, comparing a lobola negotiation from decades ago with one happening today, exposing what pressures have shifted over time. A moment is carved out to follow a young groom caught between honoring tradition and facing economic limitations, revealing the emotional burden many men carry in silence. A dual-fact insight is presented next, contrasting the skyrocketing price of cattle with the modern commercialization of marriage, delivering a firm punch that explains why the system feels more strained than ever. This naturally leads into a deeper look at why many elders fear that reducing lobola could undermine discipline and respect within families. The script then calls on cultural scholars, whose voices help clarify how lobola anchors lineage, responsibility, and family bonds. The audience is pulled into a hypothetical future where lobola is suddenly reduced by half, allowing them to see consequences that extend far beyond money. An unexpected economic angle surfaces too, showing how rural livelihoods, cattle markets, and ceremonial traditions all depend heavily on lobola's current structure. At this exact midpoint, the mid-video call to action is placed, inviting viewers to subscribe if they want more content that unpacks the cultural, political, and emotional dynamics behind African traditions with depth and accuracy. The second wind begins by confronting social media rumors that the king intends to change lobola rules, clarifying misinformation and resetting the narrative. The audience is then guided through a common misunderstanding, thinking lobola is a form of selling a bride, before that misconception is dismantled thoroughly. A powerful dual insight follows, showing how lobola simultaneously strengthens inter-family unity and formalizes responsibility. From there, the video looks ahead toward the next decade, predicting how urbanization and shifting gender expectations will reshape negotiations. A story from an elder brings warmth and emotional weight, recounting a moment in which lobola acted as a stabilizing force for a family in crisis. The narrative then expands into a philosophical question: should tradition remain rigid or adapt to modern hardship? This naturally leads to a detailed look at royal protocol and why only the king can address specific cultural matters in public. The rising presence of women in lobola debates adds another dynamic layer, revealing how their voices are already reshaping the conversation. The build-up finally lands on a closing reflection that frames King Misuzulu's position as a cultural anchor during rapid societal change. The rap ties the entire journey together, summarizing how economics, culture, history, and identity collide in the king's decision, while teasing an upcoming video that explores another royal policy, quietly sending shockwaves across the kingdom. The final line gives the required disclaimer: not professional advice, consult a qualified expert as needed. Hit the subscribe so you won't miss the upcoming, and don't forget to like.